Easy to make and delicious, that's what viewers keep saying about this Mentaiko pasta. Spicy kotro, melted butter, a splash of starchy pasta water, and you've got a silky sauce that brings you back to Japan. You can find a printable recipe on my website, just type Mentaiko pasta Sudachi into Google and I'll see you there. First things first, let's get our water going. Pour 2000 milliliters of water into a large pot and bring it to a rolling boil. The usual rule of thumb is about 1.5 liters per 100 grams of pasta, but we're going with roughly 1 liter per 100 instead. Why? Because less water means a more concentrated starchier cooking liquid, and that starchy water is a secret weapon behind my sauce that clings to every single strand. Once it's at a full vigorous boil, add 1 tablespoon of salt and toss in 200 grams of dry spaghetti. You want to look for a thickness of about 1.6 to 1.8 millimeters. Now cook the spaghetti about 30 seconds to 1 minute less than whatever the package tells you. We're putting it a touch early because the pasta will continue to soften slightly when we toss it with the sauce. While the spaghetti is bubbling away, let's deal with our star ingredient. 80 grams of Mentaiko, that's spicy kotro. It's pollock roe that's being killed in salt and marinated in a blend of chili and seasonings. Mentaiko actually has Korean roots, so this whole dish is a collision of cultures. Italian pasta, Korean origin spicy roe, brought together as a wahoo pasta. Now if you're sensitive to spice, you can swap the Mentaiko for regular tarako, that's plain salted kotro without the chili marinade. It's milder, but still gives you the signature briny, umami-rich flavor. Now take your Mentaiko and carefully slice open the thin outer membrane lengthwise. Then, using a spoon, gently scrape out all those tiny jaw-like eggs. The origin story goes that a chef in a Tokyo pasta shop during the 60s swapped out expensive caviar for Mentaiko to create something that felt gourmet but was way more accessible. And the creative substitution ended up becoming one of Japan's most beloved pasta dishes of all time. As for the leftover membrane, don't throw it away. It's actually a great little snack on its own while you cook. You can also enjoy it with steamed rice or even use it as a rice ball filling. Alright, let's just finish up the dish already. Grab a large mixing bowl and add your prepared Mentaiko. To that, add 20 grams of room temperature unsalted butter. Butter is essential here. It carries flavor, it balances the spice of the Mentaiko, and most importantly, it creates the luxuriously creamy texture through emulsification. Next, add 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 1 teaspoon of Japanese soy sauce. That's koikuchi shoyu, the standard dark variety. 1/4 teaspoon of sugar, a pinch of ground black pepper, 1 tablespoon of whole milk, 1 teaspoon of grated parmesan or other hard cheese, and finally 1/8 of a teaspoon of smoked paprika powder. Now ladle out 1 tablespoon of that starchy pasta cooking water and add it to the bowl. Mix everything together thoroughly until it's smooth and well combined. Smoked paprika adds this subtle sweetness and enticing smoky note that takes the whole dish up a level. Totally optional but highly recommended. When your spaghetti is almost ready, add 1 more tablespoon of pasta water to your sauce base and whisk it vigorously. Now drain your spaghetti and immediately add it to the bowl with your sauce. Grab your tongs and toss everything together until every single strand is coated in the creamy, speckled sauce. The residual heat from the pasta will gently warm the sauce without cooking the Mentaiko, which is exactly what we want. Transfer the pasta onto plates or into shallow bowls. Finish with thinly sliced shiso leaves. If you can't find shiso, a sprinkle of shredded nori works beautifully as an alternative. Then if you like, add an optional squeeze of fresh lemon juice and sprinkle of lemon zest over the top. And there you have it, my Mentaiko pasta, a dish that perfectly captures what happens when Italian, Korean and Japanese cultures meet in one bowl. Want even more delicious recipes? Grab my free cookbook from the link in the description. Okay, let's go over the ingredients one more time. And if you're ready to cook, grab the written instructions by clicking the full recipe box with a picture that's about to pop up on your screen. That's a wrap. You can find a full printable version of this recipe on my website, linked right here on the screen. It has all the extra details to help you get it perfect every time. If you enjoyed this, check out my ultimate playlist. And next week I'm making nikujaga. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it. See you then.